Happy New Year, everyone. It was a crazy run to end off 2023. Unfortunately, the picks from last night's video did not cash. You can see I went with Jordan Love and Doob stack, did not even hit. Spencer Dinwiddie and Claxton stack did not hit. And then the two positive expected value picks did not hit for a 2 and 4 day. Very unfortunate, but you can see right under here a perfect 6 for 6, man. These past 4 days, I've been hitting 25x's or 10x's every single day. I showed in the past 4 videos if you guys have watched in a row. I've been hitting every single video. So this is one I hit last night, 5 into 125 because of my limits, unfortunately. I could have actually made like thousands of dollars, but Prizepicks limited me at such a bad time. You can see while even scroll down, I hit this nice 10xer here, another 10xer down here, and it just keeps on going. I mean, even right here, another 25x. So these are all Sunday games. You see, my strategy is to play a ton of slips. So overall on Sunday, I had 21 slips. This one 25x pays for all those slips, excluding every other slip I hit. So if I'm putting 21 units down, 21 slips down, and I'm getting 25x from this one slip, that means I already have 4 units of profit, or in this case, $20 of profit. That's excluding all the other 20 slips that I just showed you guys. We got 125x and 2 10x's. So overall, even though most of these slips miss, you can see -5 here, only made $2 here off a $5 bet, meaning I lost $3. So basically 17 slips completely missed, but 4 hit, and that's what really matters because I'm going for the 10x's and the 25x's. So it doesn't really matter if I'm hitting a slip like this. Look, all negative, all went red. It doesn't really matter. We're going for a 4 for 4. We get the same result if 1 missed or 4 missed. So I don't really care. I'm trying to get these correlated plays in. And then when it does work out, it looks like this, right? We took Puka and Stafford on the over yards, both hit, and then Metcalf and Geno Smith on the over, both hit. And you can see this is actually complete opposite slips. I grabbed Geno Smith and Metcalf on the unders here, Geno Smith and Metcalf on the over, and one of them is not bound to hit. It could be that Metcalf went over and Geno goes under, but you can see the point here is I'm doing these correlation slips, and I'm only needing 1 or 2 to really cash to pay for everything that I placed in one given night. So if you translate the 225x's and the 210x's, that's basically a 49.8 unit day. So even on my $5 unit that Prizepicks limited me to, I still made $250 in one night. You see in these past 4 days, I am up 97 units. Well, I guess the Discord is up with me too because I send all these picks to the Discord. Overall, we ended off the year with a crazy plus 286.25 units. You could see 186 of those came from Prizepicks and 100 of those came from Underdog. And this was only in 6 weeks. We have another 52 weeks in 2024, so we're going to go absolutely crazy. If you have no idea what a unit is, basically if you're betting $5 per slip, that is your unit. So if you had $5 on every single slip I sent in this past 6 weeks, you'd be up $1,430. And it's crazy how much this scales. If you're betting $20, you'd be up 5.7K. And there's some people in Discord betting like $70, $60. They should be up around 20K. I know it sounds crazy in 6 weeks, but that's kind of how it works. If you had all my slips, now it's possible that you're not going to get every single of my slips, but you should get most of these and you would be up in the long run either way. If I'm up 286 units, you guys should be up around, at least 200 if you're copying my slips with good consistency. So overall, a great way to end the new year. And let's see if we get some luck here on January 1st, 2024, because that last slip last night was not very good. So tonight I'm actually going to go with 2 slips. We're going to go 1 college football slip and then 1 NBA slip. And this is going to be a 4-man on college football and then a 6-man on NBA. So start it off with the CFB. We're going to go with an under on JJ McCarthy on his under 196.5 pass yards. This line is set way too high. We're also going to go with Quinn on the over 292.5 pass yards. This line is also set too high, but I've showed you in previous videos. If you want to grab the unders and stack unders, they're going to pay you 9x rather than 10x. So we want to go an over on at least one of the quarterbacks. Let's get into why we're taking the unders and overs here and make sense of it. So JJ McCarthy is set at 191.5 at the highest on every sportsbook. So BetMGM has a 191.5. Every other sportsbook has him at 189.5. FanDuel even has him all the way down to 185.5. We're getting him at 196.5, guys. We're getting up to 11 points of value. You can even see these projections. I don't know if they matter too much. I don't really follow props.cash projections, but they have him set at 189.5, right? They have him 3.51 over that 185.5. We're getting him at 196.5. We're getting so many points. Even on the highest sportsbook out, BetMGM 191.5, we're still getting 5 extra passing yards of advantage. So that's why we're going JJ under, and of course we're going to want to stack him with one of his receivers. I think you're honestly good with any of these 3, but I'm personally going to go with Roman Wilson. He is at the highest in comparison to all the other receivers. So on Roman Wilson, his highest line is set at 41.5, but you can see a general consensus is that 39.5. Caesars, FanDuel, and DraftKings all have a 39.5. We're getting 42.5. Very similar on the other players. They're all set too high too, but Cornelius, I think, is set like 39.5 on the sports books. Colston set at like 35.5 maybe. So I think Roman Wilson, we're getting the largest edge in terms of Prizepicks lines being too high compared to sportsbooks. So I'm going with JJ and Roman on the unders. Not to pair Quinn with. Let's show you taking the Quinn over. We could take a look at him here again on props.cash. He's set at 288.5 on all the sportsbooks. FanDuel has him at 287.5. So yes, we're losing 4 points of value. But if you compare that to all the other QBs on the college football slate today, it's not that much. All the other QBs are like 8-9 away from the sportsbook, so we have to grab the one that's closest. I would prefer to take the unders, but like I said, it's going to alter the payouts. So that's where we're going Quinn. It's not that much different from the sportsbooks, 4 points. Basically has the smallest gap in comparison to the sportsbooks of 4 passing yards. Now, who are we going to match him with? There's Xavier Worthy is the obvious one, right? But this line is set way too high, 76.5. Same with Mitchell, are set too high. I could just show you again here on Worthy. His highest line is 72.5 on FanDuel. Everyone else has him at 69.5. We're getting him at 76.5 on Prizepicks. That is crazy. That is 7 extra yards. We do not want to be messing with that. Now, who is next, right? We had Mitchell here. 60.5 is the highest on the sportsbooks. We're getting him at 66.5. Again, another 6.5 yards. We don't want to be losing that edge. And then there's Sanders, who we have at 45.5, while the sportsbooks are set at 42.5 and 41.5. I'm actually going to go with Jordan Whittington. You can see the general consensus is 37.5 and 36.5 on FanDuel. So we're getting about 37.5, so I feel like that is a fair line. This is going to be the first slip, and it's going to be college football only. So 5 into 50, we don't want the flex play. Always play power plays when you're playing 4-mans. This is going to be the college football slip. We'll get into the NBA right away, and I have some really good picks that I think are going to get bumped, so we'll get straight into it. In the NBA, the first pick is going to be on another stack with Terry Rozier on the under 7.5 assists, as well as Miles Bridges on the under 20.5 points. Let's take a look at Rozier's prop here on props.cash. That's 7.5. He has only cleared 7 out of 20 times this season. You can see juice on every sportsbook towards that under. Some have him juiced at only minus 120. Some about minus 130 and minus 136. We'll include the games with Miles Bridges, of course, and he has cleared this 43% of the time. So still looking pretty good on that under. Now they are up against Denver, who is 6th in assists allowed. Of course, Denver has a very strong defense. I'm liking this matchup for the Hornets on the unders. What I especially like is this large spread. I mean, minus 15. Hopefully we see a blowout and some limited minutes for the Hornets, guys. We could also take a look at Miles Bridges here, who is set at 20.5. He has cleared this 20.5 42% of the time, so 58% of the time he has gone under. And like I said, Denver defense 4th in points allowed. Could be a low scoring game. The juice is actually towards his over very slightly, so I'm not too concerned with that. FanDuel actually has his juice towards the under, but everyone else seems to have a slight juice towards over. We'll throw on Rozier to see how he does. 6 out of 14 times he has cleared this with Rozier. Let's take a look at some splits if they do not get their minutes, meaning it is a blowout and they sit out in the 4th quarter. So Miles Bridges is essentially averaging about 36.3 minutes per game. If we drop this right below that at 36, we'll take a look at how he's looking. 1 out of 8 times he has cleared this over 20.5. We'll do the same thing with Rozier here. He actually averages 35.8. If he gets only 36 minutes, we'll take a look at him again. 1 out of 9 times he has cleared this 7.5 assists. So I'm really liking the stack, hoping for a blowout, and this should cash very easily. If you're looking at the 4th quarter and it's like 30 points up on Denver, it's going to be looking very good for Rozier and Bridges. We did also flag Rozier's play as a positive expected value pick on OddsJuice here. You can see minus 121 or 54.75% likeliness that he goes under. Of course, when you see that, you don't want to take his over because that means he has a 45% chance of going over. So we're going with the under 7.5 assists. The next one I'm actually going to go with is right here. Jared Allen under 17.5 points. You can see his rebounds assist is also good here, juiced at 56%. We're going as under 17.5 points at 55.75% likeness to hit. We'll go throw in Allen here on the under 17.5 points. Now we're going to stack him with Strus on the under 4 assists. I'm really loving this play because Donovan Mitchell is back. And these guys have honestly really performed well without Donovan Mitchell. But it's a completely different Cavs team with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. We'll go take a look at some statistics here on Jared Allen. We have him at 17.5. See, Allen has been going crazy with the points recently. 30, 24, 19, and he even got this 25. Now, this 25 one and this 31 were with Mitchell in the lineup, but these other 2 ones here with 19 and 24, that was without Mitchell. He's still only cleared this 30% of time this season. We could check the splits with Mitchell because I think that's what's more important here. He has only cleared this 26% of the time this season, so 5 out of 19 games. But what I like most about this is the juice. DraftKings has slight juice towards the under minus 120. PointsBet has him flat. Caesars has him at minus 129. And then FanDuel and MGM actually have him at 16.5. So we're getting a full point of advantage on these books. Now, if we also take a look at Max Strus, he has also been a player who benefited without Donovan Mitchell. It's clear there's 18 out of 32 times at 3.5 assists. We're not getting that 3.5, we're getting that 4, and these splits do get worse, of course, at 4, looking pretty good for us. But if we throw in Donovan Mitchell, you could see 46% moves to 33%. Of course, that just naturally makes sense. So I'm liking this under 4 assists. It's also good pairing with Jared Allen. Basically, Mitchell's going to get most of the utilization on this Cavs team. They're not going to get the same amount of assists and points with Mitchell in the lineup. I am liking the unders on both these players. The only point of concern is this small spread. So -2.5 is not looking too good for unders because people might get more minutes. We can even check how Jared Allen does when he's playing about 30 minutes a game. His average is 29.5, so let's put him right above that. He has cleared this 4 out of 7 times, but at least 30 minutes. So you can see the splits do get better, of course, in these tighter games. We'll check Max-Strus too. We'll put him at 35 minutes. His average is 34.3. At 35 minutes, he does also clear this about 50% of the time. Hopefully it's not a crazy close game where they're actually playing down to the last second, but I do think the unders are still looking good on this with Donovan Mitchell back. I decided I'm actually going to turn this into a 5 flex rather than 6 flex, and I want to build off of this Charlotte-Denver game by taking Jamal Murray on the under 22.5 points. Now this is going to build off on this game because, again, if it is a blowout, then Rozier, Bridges, and Murray will all be benched, meaning they will all hit unders together. Now this only works if it's a blowout, and if Murray is not the one blowing out the Hornets. If Jokic is the one getting all the points, or anyone else, MPJ, anyone else on the team, we are looking good. So all we need is for Jamal Murray to not be the one doing the blowing out. And if there is a blowout, this will look very nice as a slip. We'll cash all these 3 guys together. And then the other thing we would need is Jared Allen and Max-Strus to both go under. I'm not just taking this Jamal Murray randomly. There is juice towards his under 22.5, as you see on OddsJuice here. -122 juiced, or 55% likeness that he goes under. We could also take a look at him on props.cash real quick. 5 out of 20 times he has gone under. You can see general juice towards that under on Caesars, on BetMGM. FanDuel has slight juice, and then DraftKings point where kind of have him flat, but I do think it is still looking good. We'll take a look at a minutes reduction. He averages about 29.8. If we throw him at 30 minutes, let's say, he has hit this 3 out of 9 times. I am liking this as a triple stack, essentially. I'm going for a blowout. That is why we're going to call it a triple stack for today. 5 into 50 on the 10xer. Let's see what happens.